Alrighty then, it's beau-hindman for massively.com, and I am going to be, let me get everything adjusted here. None of my games work with Livestream anymore. None of them are able to be captured in-game, and it just frustrates me. How you doing, chat room? How you doing the normal, the returning? I feel like it's a bar where I can't see. So it's kind of like a bar where we're all sitting behind screens. How's everybody doing? Hoffy, Fanks, and all those Fanax, whatever, people who have been returning. I decided to go ahead and check out some more Second Life. I did it last week. But what I wanted to do this week, since I'm doing it for Rise, and since I'm looking at it for Rise and Shiny, I wanted to take another look at it to kind of show you. I just thought, well, shoot, instead of exploring all of Second Life, which is all I've been doing, Second Life is one of these games that you can log in, and if you just spend some time, you will literally spend hours just exploring stuff. Last night, a guy named Tuna Oddfellow took me to his magic show, he kind of called it, and it was like a dance effects kind of thing, and he's able to control it from his house with his assistant, and they're able to switch out textures and stuff. So just last night I was invited to this little thing, and I mean there's just so much to do in Second Life. People really do not give it credit. It might be a little laggy here because I'm in a sandbox, meaning a an area that they have made free for people who want to build stuff. So people come here to build stuff before they. Oh hey. There's Sarah. Hey, what's going on, Sarah? Wanted to, they want to build stuff, so they come to this big open area that will reset eventually, and they'll, they can build whatever they want. Right now, I have the sunset, I believe, on sunset or sunrise or something like that. So what's cool about back in my day, I don't believe you could do this unless you were on your own sim. But let's set it at midday here, make it a little bit normal brightness kind of stuff. There was something over here I wanted to look at. I saw it in the distance. I want to see. Look at this. I thought this was kind of cool. Somebody built this. All these ships now in Halo, and I saw the ships from whatchamacallit. Oh darn it, the shooter from Sony. I'm PlanetSide Next. They all look like the ships from Aliens. The brilliant movie. Aliens with they're all doing this kind of drop ship looking thing, but I thought that was kind of cool. People build all sorts of stuff. So this person left this sitting here, and it'll probably just fade away. The sandbox is reset. This was my little avatar I was working on a little bit. I want to have a hoodie, so I made him really short. I have no hair, and I've got to find some glasses. So my current obsessions in Second Life are looking for glasses and looking at housing. Housing in Second Life can be some of the most wonderful or some of the most horrible things you've ever seen. So today I wanted to walk you through. Now, I am not an expert builder at all, but I wanted to show you how easy it is just to kind of build a house and how much fun it is just to kind of throw something together. Let's see here. So the first thing normally I like to do is set up maybe like a floor. Let's just set up a little bit of a floor, and then we'll kind of go from there. Now I'm just going to build a little miniature house, but I'm going to show you how easy it can be. Now, if there's any expert builders, excuse me, in the chat room, feel free to give me some kind of tips or whatever. But because I'm no expert, I mean I'm old school. Back in my day. We used to build houses just the old-fashioned way. You would just kind of assemble them a piece at a time. But these expert builders I've met can literally put up, I mean, they know how to keep everything connected and measured. So what I like to do is first put down like a floor type thing, as you can see, and then I'm going to go ahead. So let's say that's just our established size. This is a pretty small house, and I have a real love for small houses in Second Life. I've seen some wonderful ones. And let's just, what I'm going to do, what I like to normally, so they're all lined up, is I need to do, there's one wall, 2, 3, 4, and roof. So let's scoot the roof up. And I'll show you why I'm doing this. It's all lined up already. Now I'm going to take the first wall, go to stretch. I'm just going to simply take it. Now you can do this in a couple different ways. You can make one wall and copy it to the other side, which is what I'll probably end up doing. But and again, you'll have to forgive me. I'm getting a little bit of a lag because this computer is definitely starting to show its age. It's kind of sad. I've had her for a while, so I might need to get a new one, which is not going to be fun. So see, now I just kind of stretch it into a certain shape or whatever, and then I do. And now, as you can see, it's going to automatically be lined up with the bottom thing. So there is one wall. Oh, Let me make it a little bit taller. Let's just say I'm going to make it tall. Okay, so that's one wall. Let's do, this one will be the front wall. So let's do, and I prefer the stretching method. There's more exact ways to do it, but what I like about the stretching method is not only is everything lined up, but it's kind of, excuse the description, it's kind of a white trash way of doing stuff. You just kind of jury rig everything, but it ends up working because it just keeps everything nice and lined up. I've been doing it this way for forever. Now I would normally just take this wall here and copy it and move it to the back wall, which I can still do, but I'm going to be making windows and doors in that front door there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just leave it how it is, and I'll show you why in a minute here. So I'm going to stretch a back wall. Let's just stretch this here. Again, the reason you want to copy everything exact is so they're the same thickness. I'm not that picky about it. Oh, did I just rotate it? I can't tell. I don't think I did. Let's zoom in here. Okay. It'll show me here in a minute. No, I'm not. I'm good. So I'm going to stretch another wall. Let's just do this here, like that. Let's make it a little thinner. Might as well. Okay, so got a good wall going on now. I'm going to zoom out here. I'm going to click on this one. One thing you learn, one thing you definitely learn in Second Life is how to, oops, I copied that, is how to move things. You know, you get really good at moving the camera and moving your items and stuff like that without it being too much of a hassle. So I'm going to take that wall over here. As you can see, that first wall I built, I'm just going to copy it and drag it over here. So now I have a nice even box. Let me get away from the lag here a little bit. So you can see it's lined up, everything's good. So now I want to build a front door, stuff like that. Now this is really basic stuff. The really fun stuff gets into when I want to go ahead and throw down some textures and all that kind of good stuff. Texturing in Second Life, I think, is probably one of the most important things, and any of the builders in Second Life could back me up on this. Texturing will often make the difference between something that looks good and something that looks horrible. The model really isn't even that important. I've seen trees made out of a couple circles and a stick, and the texture on them was fantastic, so it really made a difference. Oh, I'm going to have me a little tea. Hang on. Okay, see, now I'm building the front wall. So what I want to do is I can say, let's see, we're going to have a door with a thing above it. So that's going to be door 1, thing above it 2, wall. So let's do about 5 or 6 of these. Let me stretch these here, and I'll show you why I like the stretching method. This is I'm sure there's builders in the chat room or that'll watch this later and just cringe at the fact that I'm doing it this way. But let's just show you here why I like to do it this way. Let's just stretch out a bunch here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4. Okay, now it's going to start getting kind of ganky, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start coloring some of these so that it's easy to distinguish them all from each other. Let's do a bright color on that one. Okay, so that's going to be the floor. Let's see. Let's leave those the color they are right now. So, okay, so that's going to be a wall. Here's going to be the thingy above the door. So let's just, this is again really a really rough way to do this. This is not really that important as far as it does not have to be done this way. This is just a fun way to do it that's really easy. Alright, so let's say, here, let me walk a little bit and see about the door size. Okay, I'm good. Now remember, I'm really short, but let's just say I'm customizing this for myself. Now as you can see, the little textures down here are kind of getting a little ganky looking. That's because they're kind of on an exact line, so you start having some of that kind of weirdness going. So that's why building, it's important that things match up, but also things sometimes have to overlap. What I'll probably do is build some steps there, and then I'll cover up that kind of ganky looking thing. So this will be the thing above the door, so let's stretch this up here. Or did I just build that one? I already built the thing above the door. So let's stretch this one that way, huh? Let me get up a little bit. It's a little easier to see. You can see what I'm doing. So see what I'm doing is I'm just taking pieces and I'm just kind of stretching them for what I need. So this will be, let's say, this will be something above here. Like this is where a window will go. This will give you an idea. Again, you guys can feel free to make fun of me for building this kind of weird way, when in fact, real builders start off this way, but you know, you just end up tweaking it. That's the fun thing about Second Life. You can just tweak on something forever. When I had my little art studio, man, I tweaked on that thing so much that I made it look like an artist lived in it, that his paper has been blown across the floor. Let's see here. True, true, Hoffy, and the more windows, the better. So what I'll probably do on the side ones is, since they're not as important, I'll probably build some just a cheap way. So here I'm going to build a little thing. This will be the little windowsill right here. In fact, let's stretch off a little windowsill right here. And then I'm going to stretch that into a little flat piece. Again, you can see why I'm stretching everything is because it keeps everything even. You know, keeps it all nice and organized. It's all lined up already. And then if you want to line it up more exact, some people are obsessive about it, and I can understand why, some of the builders, but they just want, you know, you want to build it nicely. Here, let's give that windowsill a little texture just so it looks a little, let's just make it a blank for right now. So you can see that that's going to be a little windowsill. So to make a window, I'm just going to take this part here, I'm going to stretch it out. Then I want to stretch it to where it fits inside. It's going to be a little bit thinner. So what I'm going to do is stretch both sides. I'm so happy that Second Life has kept a lot of their commands the same, because I was so afraid of that. Okay, so and then we're going to stretch it. In fact, what I'm going to do while I'm doing, let me turn the texture blank. And you'll see how easy it is to make. Let's make it a little bit bluish looking. Okay, and then we're going to go to transparency and turn that way up to make it simply transparent. See, you can see now it's a little transparent looking. I'm going to stretch it to come down. Boop. And I'll show you what I have so far. Okay. So what I've made so far, and this was in what, a few minutes? So I now have a window. I grabbed it, sorry. I have a window, see, that's a little bit thinner than both sides. Building, yes, to answer the chat room, building is extra super duper amounts of fun. Now it's poking out a little bit, the window, so I'm going to do a click on there, and I'm just going to click on edit. Stretch, let's not stretch both sides anymore, let's just stretch one side at a time, just fit it in there, see? So that's it, there you go, I've tweaked that. Now, so I've got a little window. Let's say I want to build a quick window on this, you know, if you don't want to do it that way. It's been a while, so I'm looking to make a little hole here. You can make a hole in it. Let's see if that's the way. No, that's going to be the wrong way. I'll have to probably stretch it, I'll bet you. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to have to stretch it. So what I could do in the other, meanwhile, let's say, let's go ahead and put that one back here. Let's go and delete that wall. Delete, thank you. So I want to just copy this and move it to the end. So let me zoom out here a bit. I move these some more. Man, dude, I hope some guy don't start. You can shift and click and you'll highlight multiple objects. Okay, so I want to select all the objects that I built this wall out of. Oops. So see, there's all the objects. I just continue to hold down shift and copy. Oh, I didn't build the top one. I guess I didn't edit the top one or copy it. So there's a back wall. Let me go ahead and copy that one. Get in there. Okay, so as you can see, within 5 minutes now I have 2 of the identical walls. If I want to take away this door, I could simply take that one here. I could stretch it down. I could do whatever. Let's say I want to make a door. Now this is the fun stuff too. Exactly, you can, yes, actually a question from Holly there in the chat room. Thank you, Hoffy Ann. You win 5,000 points. You can merge everything, and I'll show you how. You basically link everything. Now, with some objects, and again, hey, Sarah's in the chat room. She probably knows better than me. But with some objects, you're going to need to watch how you link objects, because there will be scripts in some of them, and you don't want to ruin the scripts. Scripts are basically, you know, they're like I'll show you in a minute. It's the coding language that helps us make things work in Second Life. So let's say I'm making this into a door. Let's go to texture. Let's just make it I don't even know where I have a door at. Let's see. I'll find door. Oops, I spelled it wrong. That's not helpful. Garage door, wooden garage door, boat, shack door, door 51. Let's see what that looks like. Take a minute to load. I have near 6,000 items in my inventory, and that's been cleaned out. So out of a 7-year-old account, you can imagine I have quite a few. So what I'm doing here is I'm just looking through the here's one that'll work. So let's say we pick this door texture, right? It looks pretty good. It's actually not bad at all. Placement and everything was pretty good. You can actually rotate that texture. You can move it in and out, whatever you want to do. As far as if I wanted that to open and close like a door, I'd have to open a door script, which what I can do is I can go to my items. By the way, the new UI is a little weird, I think. This viewer too. It's nice, it works okay, but it's a little bit weird. Okay, so what I'm looking for now, these are random GIFs. I mean, you can see how many things I have in it. Here's scripts right here. So let's just take a door script, put it in there. I don't know if this will work or not. It's been a long time since I've actually tried. Oh, what was that? Somebody's building their little... I'll have to merge it, and there's a way to do it. I have to combine it with the blah, blah, blah. But as you can see, so now I have a door. And as a matter of fact, if I liked that door, usually I don't like to copy textures as much. I like every texture to be unique. But let's say, oh, there we go. Copy that door, move it to the back. Pow. I got my other door in the back. If it would go there. So being a little bit exact. There we go. So now, within, like I said, what, 5 minutes, I have a house. Ouch! I hit my head. So there's my basic house so far. As you can see, the little textures down there is flickering. That's because they're kind of overlapped and kind of not. So I want to fix that. So a lot of what I'll do a lot of times is I go ahead and edit the floorboard. Let's just call it a you know, the cool thing about doing it this way. Let's stretch both sides to just make each side a little bit bigger. So now I'll have no overlap. In fact, let's pull it up into there a little bit so that's... So then let's say I wanted to make a little, let's say some steps. Let's just pull this out here, and again I'll show you, this is the advantage of doing everything stretchy. Let us not stretch both sides. Whoop. See, so I'm just going to pull it up to there, make it a little bit smaller. Whoop. And what's cool is you just got a visual cue you can follow there, see? So let's make a few steps like that. Sorry, I make my own sound effects. So now I have little steps that I've got. You see some more flickering. Now I don't know if you can see that. When I move, you'll see the plywood texture that'll flicker a bit. So it's kind of important whenever you're doing this stuff. You've really got to be aware of where your textures are overlapping and stuff like that. If I go in really close, and you can go in really close. I mean, if you look at that. If you go in really close, you're going to see how it's not quite exactly a flush corner. You see that? So that's how you're running into some of the flickering textures that you're seeing there happening. So you've got to be careful of that, and that's where the tweaking comes in. But what I typically like to do is just get things basically going. I'm going to move this door out of the way for a little bit till I... now see, it'll stay right there in space forever. It'll never disappear. I mean, it'll disappear off of this server, but you know, I'm just going to leave it right there for now. So I can just go in and out. Let's say I need to make some stairs, and what I want to do is go ahead and build a little bit. I'm going to pick a triangle shape. Where's my triangle? Might be lagging. Let's see here. Did I build it somewhere else? Oh, I think it's inside. Yep, anytime you see the little movement lines pop up. I love how my arm twists and everything. So let's, these will be some really rough stairs, so forgive me. Now, they have built into the game, of course, they have physics and stuff like that, so you can do some really neat stuff with physics. Let's see, and then, of course, you're rotating your camera around. And this is what I was talking about the other day. Camera controls might seem a little wonky, but they have to be non-typical camera controls so that you can do stuff like this in Second Life. So let's just say that. Let's throw a texture on it of, let's just make them blank with a color for now. Just so we can tell them apart. You can always texture later. Little green. No, let's do a little purple. I hate big bright colors. Wheelchair ramp, whatever you want to say, Max, that's fine. I have a lot of disabled friends, so wheelchair ramp would not be a bad idea. So I'm automatically walk up that. So what I want to do is, let's go up here. I'm going to take my camera and zoom out, blue, 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 like that. I'm going to edit this, bring her down. So you can see about where the ramp is at. I'm going to do a little stretchy stretch. Let's give it a little bit of an opening, and I'll stretch the oop, I just made that too big, didn't I? Yep, that's alright. Here, what I'll do is I'll actually just take that one there. Aww. You see how easy this is, though? This is within 5 minutes. I've already got a house. If you were to buy some land now, in order to get land, in case people don't know, it's not, you don't just log in and get land. You actually have to pay money to have land. Now, how it can work in a couple different ways, though. You can rent land from somebody else to where they're paying the monthly fee, and you pay them in real Linden dollars, or Linden dollars, I should say, the currency in game. So what you can ideally, or you can get into Second Life, come to a free area like this, build some art, let's say this house. I build this house, and it's a wonderful looking house. And then I go to somebody and say, hey, I made these houses. Do you think I could sell them in your shop or whatever? And they say, sure. Let's sell them for 1,000 Linden dollars, and you're going to get a cut of that. So you get a cut of it. And in the meanwhile, when you're making money, adding up, you're keeping it in your Linden bank or whatever. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take that money and you're going to pay somebody a weekly rent for land. So then you can put down your house in that land if you want, and you can put together a shop. Now, some lands don't want you to do that, and some do. So you just have to find one that allows like a shopping thing. Some are residential only, that kind of a thing. Or you can just pay a monthly fee, and you can actually have your own land with your own amount of prims. Now, prims are these primitive objects. Like this triangle right here, that's one prim. You see, it'll tell me right here. Where does it say? I always forget. One object, and it's one prim. A prim is a primitive. So what you can do is you can build. Let's say I have a piece of land and it supports 999 prims. That means I can put 999 of these basic objects onto that area. So that way you can just basically see that as an allowance of of objects that you can use. When you rent out somebody's land, for example, they're going to give you a primitive amount that you can actually put on their land. Do we still need to download Second Life, or does it already run in the browser? If you want to download it, of course, it's completely free to play unless you pay, want to get into the land and everything like that. And they do have a browser version. If anybody's in the chat room that can correct me if I'm wrong, they actually do have a browser version that that runs in your browser, but I think it's real limited. It's just like a kind of a look at it. But if you go to Second Life, I think you can try it out. So let's say I like that. Let's say, hey, that's cool. Now I have, I have my wheelchair ramp, as Max said, and all that kind of good stuff. So I want to build the second floor. Well, it's easy. You just kind of edit and select everything that was I forget. So while I have that selected, okay, then I'm going to select the rest. Wheelchair ramp, everything, my roof. What am I forgetting? The back. It gets a little confusing if you're not careful. And you can tell what you've selected and what you haven't selected. Alright, so I have that. I want to just make that the second row. So, and now I have a second story. So there we go. So here, actually, let me just delete this door. You've got the idea with the door there. Delete. So now I have a two-story house. Now, see what I'm doing? I'm just building basic shapes, apartments, whatever. Matter of fact, one time for about 6 months, I ran an apartment complex and made a decent amount of money from it. So now, check this out. This is the fun thing, and this is what I like about stretching again, is that I can, stretching allows you to keep everything in line. You do have to worry about tweaking a little bit, like you have to, you actually have to, line it up a little bit better. But at first, you can throw together a basic house, and I'll show you what I'm meaning here. Why I'm, like, for example, why would I want to stretch these two off of there? Well, because I want to make fence posts or porch posts or whatever the hell you call it. So there, I'm going to make a couple like here. I'm not sure about it looking like Bin Laden's Pakistan crib, but that's cool. It's something to notice, I guess. All right, and then like, let's just say let's say these are perfect. I don't know if they are or not. If you can't see, you just got to zoom in and get a better look. So see, that's automatically lined up. So I've got me some of those. Oops. Yes, so yes, Hoffy, so you can actually have anything you want as long as you take time to build it. Now what I showed you, oh boy, I accidentally resized it. There, well see that, let's say I messed it up like that, well that's fine. Delete that sucker. Let's go over here to move and just copy this one. See, it's automatic. So if you, another reason it's good to stretch and everything is because you're actually keeping everything in line, and you're actually always kind of keeping a redundant copy, something that you can take from. So now let's take this here. Oops, let's stretch that. So there we go. It's starting to come together. So as you can see, I now have a house. Let's delete that top floor there. I don't need that. I have a basic house that I built in what? I've been streaming for about 25 minutes. So now the thing is, what you got to do is you got to decide, all right, how much time and caffeine do I have to sit here and tweak on this entire thing? It's really not hard, though. Excuse me. As a matter of fact, look, here's a dude building a spaceship. See what he's building? He's got, I see it's inside. There's stuff inside too. If I can get in there, I might be able to get in there. Maybe not. He's just flying it, so let's go away from him. I'm not going to look around too much. We might find some pictures that we don't want to see. I just saw a house. Here we go. Here's somebody else building this house. So here's a real nice looking one. Kind of a luxury looking apartment thing. See that? So there's all, I mean, makes my house look kind of pathetic, doesn't it? It's kind of sad. But you can see, I mean, within, no time at all, see, there's a gap there I'd have to tweak. Now I'd have to put furniture and stuff like that. Oh, what's this? No, it's Livestream's giving me some kind of a warning. So now I'd have to make furniture, which is easy. Oh, did I not? That's right. What's on here? What am I missing? I'm missing something where it's not letting me come up in there. Oh, it's that other thing, isn't it? There we go. So now I have my house, my porch. I mean, look at that. Isn't that cool? And you can. What's really fun, and at the same time, I'll give you an idea of how this is one of the challenges here. Let's say you want to put bricks for the. Now what a lot of people do is you can take your time. You can make your own textures if you want, or you can go on Google and steal a texture, whatever. A lot of people do that kind of thing. What I prefer to do is either buy one from somebody or make my own. It's kind of artistic, and I kind of like to see it. Yeah, actually, let's go back to that. I like to see people rewarded for that kind of a thing. Let's do that's brick and ivy. I'm going to show you how textures can be annoying here, and how you can actually, and you see how they're actually loading. There we go. Let's just do red brick. Forget it. All right. So let's say these both have. There we go. So now, as you can see, the textures, because of the shape and the size of the stuff, is off. So what you have to do is you have to take that texture. Let's see, where are we going here? And you can repeat it a certain amount of times. Let's make it about, let's say, this thin. Kind of start tweaking on it to where you're basically rotating and matching the textures up here. Let's make it a little thinner. So now what I want to do, now this can be prevented in other ways. You can also, the professional builders know how to do texturing without having to kind of jury rig it like this. But let's say once I get it about the same size, it's all fine, but I want to rotate it. I want to get it to look the same. Match up. You see the lines of the bricks there. I want them to match up. Now, what was that question, Holofee? What size should the finished files be? There's no file limit. You're not storing this. This is all stored on Second Life servers. So as you can see in my suitcase, for example, I've got 5,522 items. So just, I don't know, somewhere Second Life servers are. So anytime you hear people complaining about Second Life servers, it's like, man, that's crazy. That's really crazy when you consider how many objects there are in the world and how many people are storing just tons of junk. Okay, so see, I want those to line up a little bit. So now you can you can repeat it. You simply do this. Oops. Nope, vertically. There we go. It's starting to get there, as you can see. So you can adjust the texture to where it's going to actually, quote-unquote, match up. You see how that roof is flickering there? That's one of the problems. That's why you have to be careful about your textures and stuff. So you can simply, one good easy way to do that is to take the offending piece and just kind of stretch it out a little bit. That's why it's often good to leave your roofs with a little bit of an overhang. You can build a porch or whatever, and then it's not going to have that flickering. There you go. Deco Fish said they have 44,000 items. So that's, you know, you can see how crazy it can get. So see there, I'm just basically adding some bricks, and I haven't even begun to tweak on them. You see how the textures can still have some issues. So you know, that's again something for you to mess around with. So that's a texturing thing. You can also texture just inside a certain building or on a certain wall. Deco, you might remind me how to do this, because it's been a long time since I did just the inside of a certain wall. But I believe, do you just shift? How do you do it? I can't remember. You can lay down a texture just on that one side. Let's see. It's a trivia question for the Second Lifers in the chat room there. To lay down a texture on the one side, I forget, you do, I think you drag it. Let's try that. Let's try deco. Let's just say deco. Okay, let's try brick again. There we go. You can do it that way. Oh, that laid it on the whole thing. How do you do just to one side? I forget. While I'm working on that, there's some brick and ivy you can see, and that looks kind of like crud. So you can kind of, somebody, I don't know where I got this one. Good textures, you can see where it's repeating there already. Good textures, you'll never notice that repeating. Those lines there, you know, you'll have some incredible, there's some people who do some just incredible textures. Again, texturing alone is a market. There's a market for texturing. So let's say if you want to buy textures, or if you want to, you know, you need, oh, hold on, you select face over to your right, then you can select the face, if you want, before adding the texture, I mean left. So I'm going to edit it, select the face over to the left in the edit menu. Okay, there we go, select face. Okay, so I'm going to use just that face for this one, let's say blue color. So now it should be just that side. No. Well, you can. I'll mess with it. But essentially, you can just select that one section there if you want on that one side. So that's how you paint the inside of your walls. Different color. You know, you can also do, for example, each little edge here. You know, like you can do the edge of this. You know, just that one edge. That's right. It's starting to come back to me now. Select face. Oops. Texture. What am I messing up here? Okay, let's do that. Sorry guys, I'm trying to remember how to select. Why is it not showing me select face? Okay, well anyway, I'll have to figure that out and get back to you guys. You can also shift and select a couple sides, and also select the whole prim, then go select. Okay, so shift. Well, anyway, I'll mess with it later. But there's a, you know, I'm forgetting the way right now, but that's how you paint the inside of your walls and stuff like that. To make the door operate, you've got a script you're going to put in there, and then you're going to have to connect it to the walls. There's a little bit of the process to that, which I'm not going to go over right now. Here's a house somebody's building over here. Pretty neat. And see, there's different, that right there, that texture they're using right there on those windows, that's been around since about 1982. I've used that texture probably 100 times. There's different shapes you can build, and I can show you that that's what's really cool is you can lay down, let's say, what the heck? Okay, let's just do a cone here. Let's stretch her out. Yes, 1982, when Tron came out, Second Life was the first MMO release. I'm just kidding. You can twist it. Let's see here. So you're twisting it. You can make the hole size. There's different reasons for that. That's going to make the XY. The shear, it's going to do a shape. You can see that. Let's turn that down to 0. Let's see here. Taper. You can taper it. The radius. If you were born in 82, I don't want to hear about it. I was born in 74. All right, so you've got, you got ways of making a different shape, and then you can also, let's see here, sculpted, is that? It's been a while since I've done this. Physical, phantom, temporary, locked. Alive on every phase. It's so long. But you can make this into a, you can make it into just actual movable. Hold on a second. Who's spamming music? Okay. See, this is the thing down there. Check him out. He is blocked. I've never seen that before. I don't think I've ever blocked anybody in Second Life. Anyway, so you can take these shapes and you can make them into what they call a flexi prim. At least back then they called them a flexi prim. And you can make all sorts of crazy stuff that moves. People use it to make their hair. This, you see that dress right over here? I will bet you anything that that is a girl with flexi prims on. Let's see. What did I tell you? You can tell from a distance. She's going to load in for a minute here, but as I'm going to see, I can click on her thing here, her dress, and those are made of flexible prims, which means they're going to move. They're going to have realistic kind of effects on them and stuff like that. So people make stuff like dresses that will kind of flex in the wind. They use it for hair, and I remember when those first came out, they were a great big deal. But they're a lot of fun to, for art, making art and stuff. See how she turned, and they actually turn with the wind, like they're they have physics on them and stuff like that. Excuse me, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done on them, but they overall, I think, work really, really well. So that's my house. Let's say if I wanted to say, what is the ugliest piece of crap ever, huh? But let's just, let's say you're happy with it. So you're going to select all this kind of stuff like that. You take some time and you select all the walls and the roof and the windows and all the good stuff you can remember. And, you can actually, if you're not sure, let's say you want to stop at that point, you can go to build. Where did link move to? Link. So now, just those objects, see that? Just that section is completely linked to each other. So I was able to make so when you're done with your house or whatever, you link everything together and you're able to pick it up, and you can actually right-click on it and put, pick up or whatever, and it'll actually put it in your inventory, and you can name it something. Let's say I wanted to name it Beau's Wicked Cool House of Pain. Like that, and then I can just put a description in here, blah 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 blah. I can put a for sale price on it. I can, just anything I want to do with it. It's basically how you can work it. And that's how you make basically an object to sell. So that's how you kind of do a basic house. Let's get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of. Oh, here's a dude. Look at this. He looks like he is a robot. What do you know? He is a robot of some sort. Now his textures will have to load, but what he's done here is he's added these shapes to his body, and then this thing on his back is creating that kind of sprite, or I forget what it's called, lighting effect that looks like fire. So he's got some scripts running in his little outfit here. He's got a little glowy light. See that? He's built a little glowy light in the center. He's put a texture on the front. Looks like some kind of flag. And as you can see, I can click on it, and it's going to let me edit any of these parts I wanted to. That's a pretty primitive costume. A lot of people, particle effects, I always forget that. A lot of people forget that kind of stuff. But what's he talking to? Oh, hi. Howdy, partner. So as you can see, people are very friendly, stuff like that. Overall, let's go see what some of these other people are building. This is what you call, like I said earlier, a sandbox. So it's sometimes fun. Oh, there's that guy I ignored. He just grazed it. Alright, somebody built a thing here that actual physics will work on. In fact, that's a good thing I could show you real quick. I forgot. Let's say I want to build an actual thing that actually falls and all that good stuff. Let's go to build. Let's take a triangle. Let me build this kind of thing here. Let's just build a little fun thing here, and I'll show you what I mean. Oops. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so let's do that. So that's a ramp. Let's just say you built a ramp. Now imagine that this is a long, something it took forever to build, and it was, really cool, and it has all these different kind of twists and turns and stuff like that on. That's just use your imagination. This is basic stuff I'm doing here. Okay, so let's do that. Next, I'm going to build. Let's go ahead and build something else. Let's build just a basic ball. Okay, so let's say I'm going to build that. Features, we should be able to make it, let's turn it into light. So now it's light. Turn it into red light. So now it's putting off a red light. I bet if I go to the evening time here, we should be able to see that red light. So you can kind of see it there as I watch it move it around. It should actually leave. Now you can have those effects turned off. You can actually turn off the the extra special. I have mine running right now at ultra. So and I have like 10 times or 8 times anti-aliasing running and stuff like that. And this is an older computer, so the advantage of Second Life is you can do all that really cool stuff to it and make something look fantastic, but it will run down your computer. I'm parched. It will run down your computer if you're not careful, so you have to just kind of be aware of that. As you run around the world, just make sure that you're you let everything load and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is let's turn it into physical. I think that will do it. Let's see. There we go. Look, there he goes. So you see what it did? It actually, the red ball actually reacted as a real object would in real life, because I made it a physical object. Let's change the texture. Let's make that blank. Let's turn it into a little red, since it's a red light. So now you can see it's got a red light going on. I can actually make it glow. Beep 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 beep. Beep beep. Why is it taking a minute? I always forget this kind of stuff. Guys, they have changed everything around, it seems like. Texture full bright. Okay, so now it's a bright kind of textury thing. So see, now it's a red light. Now imagine you're making like a piece of art or something like that. This is what this kind of stuff is. So now I took off physical. Now it won't bounce. Let's build another one. Let's do. Let's see if it'll roll through this. See what happens. And this is what I mean. This is what I mean by Second Life. It's just absolutely ridiculous how much you can do. It's a little bit crazy if you start thinking about it. And this is people have said the other time in the chat room, wow, that game is still around. Somebody said on Twitter that people actually still play that, and I'm like, yeah, and it makes a lot of money. So, the thing is this is wise, because you can sit here and tweak on stuff forever. Let's see if I can make it hollow. That's the other way. Beep beep boo. Whole size. No, let's try this. There we go. I'm going to make it real thin. Make it real big. Let's stretch it a little bit there. Okay. I'm going to lower that a little bit. Now let's see what happens here when I take that ball. And see, I'm not showing you all the really cool stuff you can do. I'm just screwing around. But this is giving you an idea. And let's see if it'll roll through here once I click it off. Oh, there it goes. See how cool that is? I mean that's just such a simple. Now they didn't used to really have all that kind of stuff going on, but so let's say, oh, stop here. Okay, stop rolling. It still kind of amazes me that we kind of take this kind of technology for granted, because it's so neat. You can just sit here and do tweaks. Let's see if I want to roll that down a little bit and rotate it. I don't know how to give something like an extra speed or anything. I wonder if that would work. I don't know. I'm sure there's some scripts and stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the ball. Make it physical. See if I can score. Ah, look at that. It bounced away. Let's try that again. Oh. Let's do this and make it easy on me. Now, get in there. Oh, I see. It didn't have enough momentum. That's really cool. There we go. rolled through both. See that? So that'll give you an idea. That gives you an idea of how physical objects now can, I mean, you're actually editing the physicality of the, you're actually editing how it reacts in the world. And I believe I can even kick it around. See? So it's going to be like a beach ball or whatever. So you can make soccer games. That's why people have made games in Second Life. When people call Second Life a game, that's kind of what I think they're talking about. Since you can build so many games in Second Life, you know, that's how it got its reputation. There's still some issues with controls, with the avatars, stuff like that. But I think the only reason there's really some kind of can I kick it in the ocean? No, I can't kick it in the ocean because this is a server line here. See, I won't even be able to go into the ocean. See that? You can see how it's kind of like the end of a world. In fact, if I go into the world map, does it float? I think I can make it float. I'm not sure. So see, there's where I am right now. I'm on Sandbox Island, which I searched for. I don't even need to really kind of zoom out all the way, do I, to show you how many hundreds. Are there thousands, I guess? These are each one of these squares that are popping in like Google Earth are all a different quote-unquote server, and that's what they are. They're an individual server. Some people own individual ones. Just like Google Earth, as you zoom in, you can actually see things that were built by people. For example, here's another thing here. People built buildings. Let's say we go over into the mainland. Here's the snowy area. I remember when that came out. That was a big deal. Chunks of land all being sold here. See all these yellow dots? I've got it highlighted so you'll actually see the areas of land that are selling or for sale. There's a big magenta circle. See that magenta circle? I wonder what that is. I'm going to go look. Let's take a look. I'm not... Oh, music. Stupid music. I got to be honest, though, and I'll say this in my Rise and Shine whenever I recap it on Sunday. Now, see, everything's loading, so it's going to take a minute. Second Life has kept the pleather industry and the poor dance music, the really crappy dance music industry in business because there's a lot of that crappy dance music around. Other than that, Second Life is one of these games you really have to kind of look for the really cool stuff, but when you find it, it really, really is amazing and it does not get enough credit. So here we were. There's the big magenta thing. So let's go up, fly up and see what it is. Oh, they turned off flying. So what was I looking at? Ah, that thing right up in there. I bet you that's it. You can kind of see a little, you can't really probably see it in the chat room, but there's a little purple up in there. Oh, hold on a second. Having a not responding issue with Second Life. It'll take a minute. Vista gets more of those not responding things. Please tell me I'm not the only one that sees those a lot. All right, so let's go back to... Here, and as a matter of fact, this is a good thing to do. I'm going to search for, let's say, rental homes, and I'll give you an idea real quick. I'm going to stream for about 10 more minutes, and I'll go ahead and let you guys go play some Second Life, whatever video game you're playing today. Hopefully an MMORPG. I'm going to turn adult off. I don't, you know, that's cool if you're into, like, you know, dressing up like a horse or whatever. It's just not what I'm doing. Let's see. Here's some rental homes right here. The easiest way to tell a good place from a bad place a lot of times is the picture that's going to pop up right here, which it might be loading. But if it's really a really cheesy kind of thing, you just want to steer clear. But let's go ahead and click on that and transport to these for rent homes. These will be homes that, like I was saying earlier, if you don't want to buy land, you can actually rent a place. It's a good option for people to that don't want to spend a bunch of money. But he keeps on forgetting. Yeah, I love to log into a rental home place with Eminem blaring. It's always great. That's basically the music you hear is people on their individual chunks of land or servers can actually, you know, make music stream live. You can also stream video live. So unless I turn that option off, every time I go into a new server, it'll probably have some kind of new music going on. So here's a little desk, a little reception area. As you can see, stuff is still loading. Here's their little avatars saying who's online and who's not. So there you go. A lot of people are very nice. Let's go to find a home for rent, see what they look like. It's going to load for a minute here. Okay. Okay, so where do I rent from? Here's a little sitting area. This is a cool looking area, see? Furniture again, just made of several different prims. Here's a cool looking lamp. You can turn it on low. Look at that, I can turn it on to mid. See how the light changes in the room? So they actually have, you can actually have touch lamps and turn it off. See that? So let's see if we can find a rental home. This is the problem. Just like a business in real life, in Second Life, sometimes there's really good businesses and sometimes there's not. Okay, here's one right here. A house for 750 lindens a week. 750 lindens a week costs about, let's see, $3.29. So for $3.29 a week, you can actually rent and live in this house. So let's see what it's going to give me a landmark. I'm sorry. Okay. And it just teleported me somewhere. It teleported me into the sign. Their landmarks are screwed up. Hang on a second. Look at that, it teleported me into this sign. Here, let me do this. That's brilliant, man. That is just brilliant. Alright. Oh, looks like I teleported to one of the rental homes. So, let's say you want to do one of their houses here. See, here's a rental home, somebody's. And again, this is a good option for people who do not want to build their own stuff. Now, most of the rental homes, too, will actually allow you to, they'll give you a certain number of prims or primitives like I was showing, and then you could build, I have TVs. I mean, there's just a billion, you can just do whatever you want. Well, I bought this really fat TV from this television maker. In fact, I should show you the manufacturer I went to before. And all he does is make these giant platinum screen TVs or LCDs, and you literally stream live video. So see, somebody's got a little bubble thing going here. Oh, that's one of those sex beady. I don't want. Man, why do they include that stuff in everything? Come on. Here's some kitchen things. I don't know if they're selling these or if this is kind of stuff that you can use. So, that's a rental home. You can get some different houses if you don't feel like building. But, of course, as you saw earlier, building is the best thing to do. So then let's look at here. I'll show you the television real quick, and then I'll go just to show you some of the creativity people have come up with. Televisions, let's go there. Oh, that's Roxio. That's the one. Roxio's huge. And then I'll let you guys go. We got about 6-7 minutes. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. See, because what you can do is you can just make a flat piece of wall. I mean, since you can turn any wall into basically a video wall, you can make these kind of TVs. So somebody's made this TV here. Let's see if it'll let me do anything like that. Somebody's using that one. Well, it's not actually showing me, but they might have their streaming video turned off on this. I'm not really sure, but that'll give you a basic idea. I mean, you could take any blank piece of whatever and turn it into a movie theater. You just resize it, making it. But I've actually paid people when they make a really nice thing. Like, let's say this desk I really like. If it's for sale, it'll have a price hovering over it, and I just buy it. But as you can see, somebody just made that with, again, different primitives. So if I like that, I can buy it from the person, or I could just build it myself. I mean, they've got their own little computer screen. Look here. A laptop. Those are just textures, and as you can see, they'll load. But again, that's all an MMO is anywhere. Are mesh objects or objects with textures on them. So pretty cool stuff. That'll give you a good idea about how Second Life works when you're wanting to build a house. So what I would recommend is, even if you want to look into it, let's just say, try the free trial. It's not even a trial. It's a free-to-play game. Log into the game, go to your map, search for Sandbox, and it's going to show you several different sandbox quote-unquote sims, servers, and you're allowed to build whatever you want on those, because after a while it'll just disappear. Go on there, build you a bunch of stuff, maybe a little house, go find you a little rental piece of land or buy a little piece of land or whatever. Just be careful, know what you're getting into, and check the current rates, and make sure you're getting a good price and all that stuff like that. And enjoy yourself. That's what's cool about Second Life, is you can do literally anything you want. But no, Second Life is not just about sex and pleather and all that stuff like that. That's what we hear about all the time, and unfortunately there is a lot of that. Look at that, they even built a cool little ceiling fan. But that's not what it's about at all. There's a lot of art. I just went to an art show last night that was incredible. There's artists, music, bands live every night. There's discussion groups. I went to a book discussion group the other night. So have fun with it. Check it out. My name is Beau-hindman. Of course, check back to the Massively Livestream channel lineup on massively in the top right corner. There'll be an MV lineup page or link. You click on that, go to the lineup, and you'll see, I think tomorrow we're streaming, I'd have to check. I'm forgetting when I'm streaming tomorrow, but more stuff every day of the week. Thank you for coming out. If you're watching this in the comments section of Rise and Shiny, please leave a comment about Second Life, your experiences, or let me know what I missed or messed up, or if you have some cool clubs or some art shows, leave them in the links there so people could visit. Thanks for coming out, and I'll talk to you guys